Hello, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm bringing you a review of HelloFresh. But before we get started, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up so that way we can keep on growing. Now this video is not sponsored, but I did receive this box for free because a friend of mine had a promo code and they gave it to me, which was very kind of them, so thank you for that. And if you don't know what HelloFresh is, it is a meal delivery service. So after I got the promo code, I was able to just go on HelloFresh's website or app and I could kind of scroll through all of the different recipes that they had available for the week that I was ordering. And so I was able to choose 3 different recipes that have 2 portions in each recipe to be sent to my doorstep. And so supposedly it has all of the ingredients that I need, minus like salt, pepper, things like that. And I'm going to cook them all throughout this week and show you what I think and give you my honest review and opinion. But before we start cooking, I want to unbox it for you so that way you can see what comes in your HelloFresh order. So let's do that and then we will cook the first recipe. Let's go.
All right, let's see what we got in here. Oh, this is so cute with the little ingredients. That's nice. Oh, and then there are the instructions. Looks simple. Welcome to America's #1 meal kit. That sounds objective. Just a little info card. Rewards. Oh my goodness. What are all these? Yeah, this is how I got this free box from a friend. If anyone wants these, let me know. Seriously fun. What? Are these just ads? I feel like I'm getting spam mail. All right, let's take a look-see. Oh, very fun.
Okay, the first recipe that I'm going to make is the one-pot chicken sausage and kale soup. We've got our kale in a lot of plastic, but like it's hard to judge like the carbon footprint for some of these services because they're gonna put a lot of single serving stuff. I do appreciate that this is definitely a bag that has been recycled or made from recycled materials. And there are also instructions on like how to break down the box, which was very nice as well. We have our Parmesan cheese. It's on like Parmesan. You know, I like a good little pun. Oh, here's our Israeli couscous, an onion, 1 carrot. It's kind of like a stock concentrate, which is interesting because they give you this instead of having to give you like a whole thing of chicken stock. Ciabatta roll, a lone piece of garlic. So it's kind of small. This is garlic powder as well. Italian seasoning, our chicken sausage. So let's take all of these goodies and cook the first recipe. Okay, here is the ingredient card. It says that I need to bust out a peeler, a large pot, salt, black pepper, olive oil, and butter. Okay, I am gonna use my Dutch oven. Step 1 is prep. So bring 1 tablespoon of butter, 2 tablespoons for 4 servings. Oh, okay, so we're just gonna use 1 tablespoon because I only have 2 servings in mine. To room temperature, wash and dry produce. Oh, nice. They include like this little like culinary tip or tidbit. That's fun. Remove and discard any large stems from the kale. So if you don't know why it's telling you to do this, it's because the stems are kind of woody. Kind of like that part of asparagus you don't like to eat. They're harder to digest. So these are all the stems that were in there. Not too many for the quantity of kale. But now it says heat a drizzle of olive oil in a large pot over medium-high heat. Oh my gosh. It says bring 1 tablespoon of butter to room temperature. I was not supposed to put this in here. 1 tablespoon of butter to room temperature. Okay, so we're gonna use butter as the base for the soup, not olive oil. And I promise it shouldn't affect it too much, but I will definitely work on reading instructions. So now we're going to cook the sausage. Gosh darn it, of course. Day 1 of making these recipes and I already made a mistake. I did not see an option for like vegetarian, like a vegetarian option for this one, but it also like wasn't clear like how to switch your protein because like if you wanted to add like shrimp to one of mine, it was like another like $6 or something, which I thought was kind of silly because I was like, if it's a meat, like I would have wanted to switch it for maybe a fish. I don't know if it's like that for all of them. Okay, so let's break this down. Also, it looks like the next step, you're gonna add some more olive oil, so I don't think this was too tragic of a mistake. They do say just a drizzle of olive oil, so I'm not really sure where their measurement is, but to me a drizzle is like a little less than a tablespoon. Okay, you can see that the chicken sausage has started to brown. So we got our carrot going in, onion going in, the kale in. Okay, you can see that this has started to cook down. So now it says to add the garlic. So we've got our garlic here, tossed in. And I'm going to add the concentrate and 3.5 cups of warm water. For context, this also says it's a half of a cup. Okay, so while the soup cooks, I wanted to give some impressions so far. So I definitely think this is very easy to follow. I know I was kind of, absent-minded. I read the instructions out loud and put butter in instead of olive oil. Otherwise, I think it's pretty easy to follow. One thing I did want to say is that I went to go try the QR code and I had ripped it on the bag for today's recipe. So I went to a different recipe bag and I went to scan it and it just brought me to HelloFresh's website. I don't know if it's because like I wasn't logged in or something that it didn't bring me to what I thought was going to be a digital form of the website or a digital form of the recipe. However, I did have a digital form of the recipe. I just went into the app, found the recipe and clicked on it, and I can insert some footage here as long as I still have access into the account, kind of showing you what it looks like. It was really nice that there was a digital form of the recipe. If you happen to lose the recipe card or you spill something on it, that's nice that you have that there. I'm curious, I don't know how long they let you keep those recipes digitally, but so far, so good. It hasn't been too hard to make, and I am curious to taste it because everything does really smell good. So let's go see if our soup is almost done. So I actually read ahead and it says that meanwhile have and toast the ciabatta. So we can do that while it keeps cooking. Bread cut sides of ciabatta with softened butter. So this is where the butter comes into play. And then evenly sprinkle garlic powder. Oh shoot, I never put the Italian seasoning in. Pause to add Italian seasoning. Evenly sprinkle garlic powder, season with salt and pepper, and slice in half on a diagonal to create triangles. I'm curious if they gave us garlic powder for this one, but put regular garlic in the soup, because I feel like I would have used real garlic for this, but I guess you would have needed to like do more effort. This feels like a lot. I can confirm this is definitely a lot. Okay, we have the soup. I'm very excited to try it. It smells very good. And besides that, there's still like a good amount left. Not that I don't think it's 2 portions, but I do feel like if you're not that hungry, you could maybe split it into 3. But I sprinkled the Parmesan on top and now let's give it a taste. Oh, wow. I'm not sure what flavor I expected it to have. It's really strong. Like it tastes like, I guess the Italian seasoning's coming through a bunch. Thank goodness I remembered to add that eventually. It's really good. I mean, the kale cooked down a bunch, so that's nice. Again, just like easier to digest now that it's kind of broken down. I feel like it's really satisfying and satiating because it has the addition of the couscous, so there's a grain, there's a protein, and it's really flavorful. Oh, not to mention that there's cheese, which we know I love cheese, so I'm very happy. One thing to note is that there isn't a lot of liquid with this soup, so if you are someone who likes a more like a thinner broth, I would probably have added more liquid than they did. I think that maybe with the leftovers, I could potentially do that because I think that the couscous is probably going to absorb all of the liquid overnight. So we'll see. I mean, even if like you can kind of see, there really isn't a whole lot of liquid. It's kind of more of like a couscous bowl. There is enough to still call it a soup, but I don't think it's that much. And the longer it sits, the thicker it's gonna be. But day 1, I'm impressed. Day 2, I'm hoping to read the instructions better. So this one gives my thumbs up of approval. Now, on to day 2. I didn't try the toast! I completely forgot. And I will say part of that's probably because I'm not that excited about it. Partly because it had like, they said to use all the garlic powder. As expected, it's pretty garlic powdery. I don't know if I'm just picky and I don't like garlic powder as like the way to have like garlic toast. It's not bad, but if you were only having 1 piece of bread, I would definitely use, actually, I'll double check and make sure I didn't mess up. No, it says to use the 1 tablespoon. It says the same in both, which is weird because if you get 4 portions, you get 2 pieces of ciabatta bread, but they're telling you to use the same amount of garlic powder. So that doesn't really make sense to me. So I would definitely use half of the garlic powder if I was to make this again. Or I would probably put the garlic powder on before the butter. So that way, when you're spreading the butter around, it kind of like mixes in with the butter and it's not just like powder on top. I think that maybe that was their intention, but it's definitely not worded like that. There's nowhere that kind of indicates that. I'll try it with the soup as well. I mean, the bread itself isn't bad, but like the garlic powder on top just isn't it for me. It's kind of like getting stuck in my mouth because there's like so much, it doesn't know what to do. So for the remaining pieces, I'm probably just gonna like shimmy off what's left. But it is like a nice addition to the soup. That way you kind of feel more full from the meal. That being said, the bread is good and it's hard to get fresh bread mailed to you like that. So I think that that's a check in the right category Would I put garlic powder on toast again? Probably not. I probably would just roast some garlic and then spread it on. It's good if you need something that's quick. So if you were to replicate this, I would just use a little bit less garlic powder. And let me know if you've ever made garlic bread like this. I'm very curious if it's just a me thing that isn't as much of a fan. But now we can go on to day 2. So let's cook. Hello, welcome to day 2. Today we are making some cheesy fried eggs over a nacho potato hash. And I think yesterday I said that 35 minutes was my longest cooking time. I was wrong. Today and tomorrow are 40 minutes. So we'll see if we think the timing is the same, but I mean, it's only like a 5-minute difference between the times, so it's not that bad. But here is our recipe card, and then we have all of our instructions on the back, and it also seems like the time is longer because we are roasting today. We're gonna use an oven. Now let's get the bag out and I'll show you what it all comes with. Okay, we have our bag. So cute, a little box of just 2 eggs, Mexican cheese blend, cilantro. It looks like the cilantro has started to go bad, but it's still usable, so it's fine. It looks like maybe just because it got opened a little bit. A very tiny bottle of white vinegar. It's so cute. Red pepper crema. I was like kind of bummed that they were just giving this to you. I was hoping that we would make it because I feel like that's a useful skill. However, I did recently make a roasted red pepper Greek yogurt dressing for myself and Brian. And if you want that recipe, just let me know in the comments below. I would love to make a video on it. We've got a red pepper, jalapeno, red onion, single tomato, Southwest spice blend. In here are just all of the potatoes for the hash. So let's cook. Step 1, wash and dry the produce, and we need to preheat the oven to 425. At the top here, it says 2 ingredients, 2 person, 4 person, and then it's like color coded. So like 1 bell pepper for 2 people. But then I'm like, I don't understand, like 5 tablespoons of white vinegar, is that for 2 people and 4 people? Or is this just what they give you? Because then when we get onto the back where we're looking at the instructions, it says to have the vinegar and you use all for 4 servings. So I think today I'll try having it and I'll have to taste it and see. But it is confusing and I'm not really sure what the right one is. There is not as much cheese as mine in that picture. Okay, so let's try it. That's very good. Not that I didn't expect this to be good, but it's really simple, so I felt like I just wanted it to like exceed my expectations. And I think, you know, because it was kind of low effort and you just like went that extra mile of like, you know, frying the egg, but like adding the cheese and like making your own pico and things like that. I feel like this one is definitely something that I would remake. It's not necessarily something that I would pick again if I was to do HelloFresh again, but it is something that I would make myself. The only reason I wouldn't pick it again if I was to do HelloFresh again is because it's really simple, and I think that a lot of this is, you know, accessible to me. I don't know what's in the Southwest blend, but I also could just use like a smoked paprika, cumin, and, you know, some other spices. Or life hack, you could also just use taco seasoning. You know, a pre-made one from the store is going to be a nice spice blend to mix with some vegetables if you're looking for like a Southwest style hash. Now let me get another bite of the egg. I feel like we use so much cheese. It's almost like an inside out omelet, but I'm not mad about it. I will say I should have added the cheese on sooner because my yolk isn't that runny. I'm not getting like a strong red pepper flavor, but I also think like it definitely has another flavor to it. It's just not like strongly red pepper. If I was given that and no one told me red pepper was in it, I'm not sure I would have been able to identify it, but it's definitely not plain sour cream. I don't know if that's a good explanation for it. I also think that that's a nice add-on to the meal. I think adding a topping on top of a dish that's really simple is a nice way to tie everything together. I also like didn't realize how easy pico de gallo was to make. Like I kind of knew, but I felt like I just added vinegar and a little sugar. I don't know if that's a very traditional way to prepare it, but it definitely was easy and a nice way to get some more fresh ingredients into the dish. Now I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this, and I will catch up with you on day 3. Hello, welcome to day 3 of trying HelloFresh for a week. So today we have some curried chickpea patties. So here's our recipe card for the day. Now let me get the bag and we can do a little unboxing. Okay, this bag did break a little, but again, they're using recycled materials for the bag, so I'm not mad about that. But one thing that did pop out is curry powder, spinach, tempura batter mix, cashew pieces, golden raisins, a bunch of green onions. We got our basmati rice. Oh, another one of those like pre-made type sauces. Oh, this one's the sour cream though. So I guess the pre-made sauce and the sour cream like come in a similar type of container. Adorably small lemon. This is so little. Red onion. Oh, coconut. This is such a little bit of coconut milk. Our very small clove of garlic. Oh, a vegetable bouillon paste. Bouillon, vegetable stock starter. Let's cook. Contains milk. Oh, this isn't coconut milk, this is yogurt. Okay, all right. This says a pinch of garlic to taste. So for me, I was like, I'm gonna use the whole clove, but I didn't think that we'd use it again. Okay, I'm gonna get out some garlic that I just have. I'm very excited about this one. You know, funny thing is, I almost didn't order this one because I really thought that it was gonna be more work than I wanted to do on a busy week. However, I'm glad that I did because I think one of the benefits of ordering something like this is that you can still make easy and delicious homemade meals when you're busy. I guess we will see if it's delicious, but I have suspicion. Okay, so let's get a bite. It's got a strong taste of curry powder, but not too strong. So the inside is gonna be softer and mushy, but the outside's gonna have that nice crispy shell that we just fried, which I think is a very satisfying flavor and texture. The sauce goes really well too. I don't think the sauce is anything crazy, but it's kind of interesting that they did 1 part yogurt to 2 parts sour cream. I feel like that's a rule of thumb that maybe I'll try using if I'm ever making a homemade sauce and I have those 2 ingredients on hand, because normally I'll just use one or the other and then season it. Now let me try the pilaf. That's really good. I got a cashew, which kind of softened from, you know, cooking with and it was really nice texture. And I feel like the flavor is pretty good for like not a whole lot of ingredients. Now let me try one of these pickled raisins. So I think I might have had a pickled raisin before. I don't know. I mean, to me, it has like a little bit of an acidity, but for the most part, it's just rehydrated. However, I like it with like the pilaf and the mixture of everything. I don't think it's a necessary step. I think it's a good ingredient. I just want to look more up about pickled raisins and see if you can buy them or if you just normally like quick pickle them at home, because I've never experienced something like that before. But today's meal is honestly, it might be one of my favorites, and that says a lot. I also really appreciate that this one has a lot of flavors I wouldn't normally cook with. I do make curry sometimes at home, but I wouldn't necessarily think to put curry powder in a chickpea patty, so I think that this was a great expansion of my skills in the kitchen, which is one of the reasons I personally would want to get a food subscription box. Now it's time for what you may have been waiting for this whole video,
my final thoughts. Okay, so would I buy HelloFresh again? Yes and no. So I would buy HelloFresh if I was busy one week and I needed to have meals and I had enough time to cook because, you know, this did take 40 minutes. But if I'm really busy, I might only be spending 10 minutes to cook up some eggs and put some toast in a toaster, or put some bread in a toaster. That being said, I think that it gives you a balanced meal in a very concentrated time. You don't have to go to the grocery store, which I think is where the real time saver is. So that is where I would definitely get HelloFresh again. Now, would I get specifically HelloFresh? I think I would want to expand my home food delivery options. When I was looking through all of the options from HelloFresh, I would want more diverse options for myself, because if I'm having someone do all the grocery shopping for me and send me a recipe, I want to learn something about it, which is my other feedback. I don't think that HelloFresh does a great job of kind of teaching you more about your ingredients. Like, I have so many questions about these pickled raisins, but I would have loved a little footnote of like, pickled raisins are common in Morocco. I don't know if that's true. I will see if I can find any facts on them, and I will also put that on the screen. But, you know, just like, I like to learn when I'm cooking something new, so I think that that could be really beneficial for a product like this. However, that's not everyone's wish and desire. So if all that you want is the ease of getting a recipe sent to your door, and you're not that picky of an eater, and you're pretty much happy with anything you don't have to think about, then HelloFresh is probably a good option for you. Now, when it came to vegetarian options, I didn't see any vegan. I only saw the 2 vegetarian that I had. There might have been one more vegetarian option, but I did select meat and veggies as my preference because I wanted to see if it would just show me everything. So I don't know if I selected vegetarian as my option, if it would have had a more array of just vegetarian options. That being said, that might not be important to everyone. So if you don't have any dietary preferences, again, HelloFresh could be a good option for you. I don't know if it's the best option out there for someone who has some dietary preferences, but the food was pretty easy to follow except for some of the questionable instructions. However, I think some of the instructions were definitely reader error, but there were also a few that seemed to be contradictory. So if you do happen to try HelloFresh, I would just double check everything. And I think flavor-wise, it's pretty good. Like, I was impressed with everything so far. I think the biggest thing that impressed me was the chickpea fritters, but again, this isn't something that I would make on my own or something I would just kind of naturally crave, so I'm excited to have this new skill or try this new recipe at the very least. Okay, that's it. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried HelloFresh before or any other meal delivery service. I'm curious if there's any other companies that I should try out, or if any other companies kind of do the things that I was saying HelloFresh doesn't do as well. I'm just curious to try more of this because I think the concept is really great, especially if you are someone who wants to learn more about cooking and you get maybe overwhelmed in the grocery store, or you just don't know a lot about different ingredients. This is a really great option for learning in the kitchen. Hello, I just wanted to jump back on here because I realized that in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I had these free promo codes for a free HelloFresh box, just like what I used to film this video. So if you want any of the 3 promo codes that I have, then just send me a direct message on Instagram. I'll put my handle here, or you can comment below or send me an email and I'll just send you one of the codes if I have any left. Be sure to reach out if that's something that you're interested in. And while I have you, I wanted to also let you know that if you are purchasing HelloFresh, but you are one person like myself, then I would definitely recommend getting just 2 meals for the week that have 2 portions. So that way you have 4 portions for the week. I think the 3 meals wasn't a bad option, but I did end up freezing some of the food just because I felt like I had a lot of quantity. Now, back to the video. So if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up so that way we can keep on growing. Bye!